Hi, I'm Alyse Gardner. I am the author of Bite to the Heart that is in the new anthology Slayers. It was just released this summer from 70S Books, and it's really exciting for me because it's my first published piece that others can actually buy. The only other actually published pieces I have were in the magazines from the college I graduated from. I am 22. I graduated last year with a bachelor's in creative writing, and I had a double minor in psychology and women and gender studies. And I just love writing. I always have. I love researching and learning new things. I get very obsessive with what I learn. And this piece was very exciting for me because not only was it my first published piece, I threw myself into it, and I was really nervous, and I kind of still am, and I think that nervousness is always going to stick with me, and I'm very proud of it, and I know that it may not be the best work I've ever done, but I know it's a good start, and I hope many people like it, and just I know there's tons of more to come for me in the future. I am not just a writer for fiction. I write poetry as well, and I also write song lyrics. When I get the time and everything, I hopefully will start learning to put my lyrics with music, because I do own a guitar, and I own keyboards too, so I need to learn them, and will hopefully start playing them with my music that I write for, so everyone can actually see what things would sound like besides singing a cappella. And I love French. I love ASL. I'm learning a little bit better at that. I am obsessed with Native American culture, mythology, medieval times, dark ages, and anything that deals with the mind. I love people watching. And that's actually how I got inspired for the story, was by going out with a friend and people watching and seeing how others interact, and I was really stressed, and we saw a couple, and just I imagined how everything could go from there. And I not only write, I've also started an editing business recently in the past few months. I'm slowly learning to get better at it, and I love life. I think anything you learn one day can be used later on at another point, and as one of my favorite teachers that I had, which was when I was in 4th grade, she said that if you're not learning, you're not living. And I don't think I can be a good writer without it. And another great teacher I had, who is one of my close friends and kind of like a mentor to me that I met in college, she always said, you need to always ask why. And I don't think we can create stories without asking why. So that's enough about me, I guess. I don't really know what to say about myself without getting asked pointed questions. But I really hope you like the book and my story and the stories of the others in the book. I know that I'm excited to get my own copy. of it so I can read a couple of the other authors' stories that I haven't had a chance to read just yet. Like Quincy Allen's story. Oh my goodness, I heard that it's insane and I'm excited. I want to read it so bad because I've been hearing about it for almost a year now, and oh man, it's just his little ideas hooked me. And Dark Contours stories, I'm always talking to her and I want to know more about her story, as well as TK's. I've read Solange's story and I think her approach is awesome, and I was drawn in with J.L. Malone's story. Oh my goodness, I think we have a great crop, and oh man, just you gotta read. If you don't like my story, at least hopefully you like one of theirs, because I do, and I find it exciting. And if you like mine, that's awesome, because that means I did my job, and I share a lot of my soul in it. I try to put a lot of my soul in everything I make. So I'm going to read a segment from my story. It's in the first scene still, but it's not the quite beginning. I'm starting when more dialogue and interaction is happening, where Rory, my main character, she's starting to get real submerged almost. She's submerged almost the whole time, but where Rory, who is an empath, but she's also an assassin, and she's part of this awesome order called Order of the Scorpion. And so here I go. Oop, hold on. The double doors were close by, welcoming in customers from the cold night air. We sat at the bar's countertop with beers and shots, whiskey for me and a lemon drop for my best friend. We hadn't been there long. The bottles were still ice cold to the touch, and our feet dangled as we took in our surroundings. As I reached down to scratch my calf, where the worn leather of a sheath dug into my skin, I watched as a couple of older gentlemen left. No one saw the outline of the silver hilt under my jeans. The spot had become a permanent home for the blade. If not for the itching, I would have forgotten it was there. The core of silver and gold ran from the center of the hilt through the blade hummed. I straightened up, took the first sip out of my bottle, and breathed as it trickled from my tongue down my throat into my empty stomach. I should have eaten again before we headed out from my house on the hill, but I wanted socialization. I took a swig from my beer and twisted on my stool a bit. My heart stopped and sprung up into my throat for a split second. We locked eyes. Nick walked in and looked away as I felt him make his way to my side. His arms stretched across the countertop, his hands enveloped around his phone. He looked over at me as his hair fell forward from his shoulders, where he continued to let grow while half his head had half-inch fuzz from where he'd buzz-cut it. "What are you doing here?" "Drinking," I muttered. "You?" He's drinking, he snickered. "Pretty much all day." He's probably chock full of a day's measure of liquor, and I can only guess at how much he must have smoked. I've never smelt his natural scent so buried before. "I bet," I said. "Hey, I got to find my friend. I'll see you soon. I'll be back." "Yep." I took another sip and turned to Olivia. "Okay," I said, glass in hand. "Cheers to landing my first official counseling gig." Breathe. Relax. It's just an ordinary night. She smiled as we clunked to clear to copper. "Nice necklaces," a stranger that sat to our other side piped up. "Thank you," Olivia said. "Where are you from?" Next town over. You? I've been listening to you girls talk, and you don't sound like you're from around these parts. She is. I'm not. I live out in the city, she said. Really? You're from here? You don't sound like it, he said as he turned to me. Wouldn't you like to know? I smiled. I travel. Shit happens. The energy in the room shifted like a fog coming in from a sea to the shore, and I felt a slight twinge in my chest. Somewhere in the bar, emotions had changed, or focused. It was like an alteration in the weather, imperceptible to the eye. I looked to Olivia, who was oblivious, and chatting up our new friend. When I looked over my shoulder to the dartboard, she perked up as burning chills stole my breath, and I stiffened. She seethed as her eyes peeled at him. Asshole, she spit. Alright, so that's a segment from my story, which again is Bite to the Heart for the new anthology, Slayers, which, by the way, awesome cover. I love it. Weeping Angels are awesome and cool, and it's not because I've watched Doctor Who, because I've watched it, but I'm not obsessed. I'm more of a Lord of the Rings obsessed person, and Harry Potter and stuff like that. I could talk for hours with Lord of the Rings, trust me. I was the one people go to in middle school and high school about because I love it. One day, I will tattoo Lord of the Rings symbols on myself. But anyway, I hope you liked it, and I hope you continue watching out for more stories and poetry and whatever I may create in the future, and give 70s a lot of love. Alright, bye.